Welcome to the Growth Diary, a journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and transformation. A podcast for you, a podcast for all.
Empowerment and transformation. A podcast for you, a podcast.
Welcome to today's episode of the Growth Diary. I am your host, Ivan Mapeva, and on today's episode, we are getting tested, approved, and trusted. My guest today is the man behind the brand I've mentioned. He's a graphic designer, he's a businessman, but let me allow himself to do the introduction. Hi, my guy, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very okay. Welcome to the episode of the Growth Diary. We are honored to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Please, you can just do the introduction.
My name is Muinda John, and as mentioned, I am a graphic designer. That is my passion. I do t-shirt printing and branding. As mentioned, this is my brand that I designed myself. Tested, approved, and trusted.
Tested, approved, and trusted is my guest today. And on today's episode, we are talking about self-branding. Branding yourself as a person, branding yourself as a business. But before we dive into the conversation of today, we'd love to know our guest's story. How was life like growing up? How have they moved or traveled the journey reaching as far as they've come? And my guy, I think that's the story of the day. How was life growing up? Like, how did you find yourself in Lusaka? How did you find yourself doing what you're doing? How did you just come up with all this brand, and how have you managed to grow it?
Alright, I'll first start by explaining my education journey, because it is one of the reasons why I'm in Lusaka today. So first and foremost, I completed my grade 12 in 2020. Yes, I was at Sorezi Boys Technical Secondary School. That is where I did my grade 9 as well. I did my grade 7 at a private school. That was in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. So upon completing my grade 7, the journey has been a journey that you can say, had it not been for God, couldn't have been here. So every moment I step into the exam room, you say, financial challenges used to come my way. There is a point in time where I was supposed to enter my final grade 12. I was at a boarding school, so I was supposed to go in boarding. You are supposed to pay the boarding fee, and by then it was not yet free education. And you know how boarding life is. You are supposed to get some groceries and stuff. Yeah. So Dad used to work as a driver for NGO companies, and his contract got terminated for reasons that I don't know. So the thing where you are expected to go with groceries in school, but due to the circumstances, you could just maybe go with some sugar.
Yeah.
And by that time, I was a leader in school. I was a house captain in boarding, so it was just a mandate for me to be a boarder. By God's grace, I went into boarding. There were some negotiations. I went without paying the boarding fees. The boarding fees came later on. Yeah, and by God's grace, I completed my grade 12. I passed with good colors.
Flying colors, eh?
Exactly.
The rainbow.
Yes.
So flying color, how many points are we talking about? 6?
No, not really. That's the reason why I didn't choose flying.
Just colors.
Yeah, just colors.
Yeah.
After passing, I entered into society. 2021, I was in society, waiting for my, university or college. Yeah, but due to the fact that, financial struggles, my dad came up with an idea to open a tuck shop for me, because our house was attached to a tuck shop alongside the barber shop. Yeah, he ordered some things for me there. So as I was running the tuck shop, I met a friend by the name of Vincent. Yeah, that is a friend that is the root cause of me starting liking the branding thingy. Yeah, so upon running the shop, by 2021 there was a breakout of coronavirus. Yes. So my dad got sick. He was admitted. We were quarantined at some point. And you just know, if the man of the house isn't around, things are sour at all. We lost appetite as a home. Seeing mom break down. But God saw us through. My dad recovered and he got out of the hospital. By then I already received an acceptance letter from Evelyn College to study biomedical engineering. So in 2022, first year, that is when I came to Lusaka. But before coming to Lusaka and before my dad getting sick, I had a brand that went by the name Trust the Process. That was my first brand before coming to Tested, Approved and Trusted. That brand was inspired by Higgs Chiengi. He's the one that used to use the weight as a capsule. He used to use it as inspiration. And the guy I mentioned earlier, Vincent, came up with the idea of printing a t-shirt. I printed the t-shirt, took photos in it, uploaded it, and people started asking where I bought the t-shirt. That is how I came up with the business idea of selling branded t-shirts. So Solwezi is not a very exposed place where people have got a privilege of ordering things there. So it was a challenging business where you get to order a t-shirt at a higher price and reselling it at a much higher price. So I didn't know where to order the t-shirts from. I used to order in pep stores. By then, no boundary shirts were at 110 kwacha each. I found someone who could do the printing for me. I could print at 40 kwacha and resell the shirts at 200 kwacha. So that was about a 50 kwacha profit in one t-shirt. So there and then we gained some influence around the town and we sold some pieces. Then fast forward, we came to college. Upon coming to Lusaka, you're not very friendly with the town.
Yeah.
So I had to pause a bit with the t-shirt business. Luckily, I got in touch with someone by the name of Timothy. I don't know if you can remember me by now. He also runs a t-shirt clothing business. He's mostly into printing as well. So he's the one that inspired me to learn how to tie-dye t-shirts. I had to learn the skill, and I also started selling the t-shirts for him since I never had the capital to restart the business.
Yeah.
So as much as I was selling the t-shirts, my audience grew. And at some point, people used to think as if they are my t-shirts. Then I said, if this is where I've reached, why not do it myself?
Yes.
That is how I even became independent. I even started tie-dyeing my own shirts. I could order them, I resell, just like that. Then in second year, I became very much serious about the brand that I had to pause in first year because of not knowing Lusaka too much.
Yeah.
So I had to explore the town. I had to learn about places where I could order at a much lower price.
Yeah.
And it motivated me to start ordering a huge number of pieces. I even entered for an online course, a Nigerian website where I had to learn Photoshop. Yeah. So I have a certificate in Adobe Photoshop graphic designing.
Yes.
I also have a certificate in Inkscape design. That is how I also started designing my own shirts, designing my own designs.
Yeah.
Then I even changed the logo of Trust the Process. So in second year, that is how I had to blow up my brand Trust the Process. Most of the people had to know me, and some people could even call me Mr. Process around the school where I was at, which is Evelyn College. Yeah. So after getting a bigger audience, because I had to grow from about 500 followers to 2.1K somewhere there on Facebook, Yeah, so someone else approached me. He's also from Lusaka. I will not reveal his identity. I said I also have a brand that goes by the name Trust the Process. Yes. So he says, I'm going to file a report for you for brand infringement since my brand is registered. So we can meet, you show me your papers, I also show you my pack registration documents, and we see the way forward. So instead of us, getting into conflict and all that, we just came to a resolution to say, I never knew that you also do this, but if I knew, I couldn't have done it. Moreover, it's not as if I use the same logo as yours. I just use the same phrase. Yeah, so that is how I just decided to drop it down and just start another brand. So I started looking for another brand name that I can go with because branding t-shirts became part of me. It was my passion and I couldn't just let it go like that. So I had to talk to my friends, told them what was happening, the friends that were in support, I let them know what was happening. And they just encouraged me to, just to start another name. So I have a friend that I've been learning with from grade 6 up to grade 12, Jonathan Kapaipi. Yeah, he's my best friend. We are from Solwezi and we are now both in Lusaka. Yeah, so he's the one that came up with the brand name. He is a fan of Burna Boy. So it was inspired by the song Tested, Approved and Trusted by Burna Boy. Yeah, so he's the one that said, your journey has been tested, approved and trusted. Why can't you let it be the brand name? That is how I did some research about logos, and I didn't know much about logo design by then. And I gave the person that was branding my t-shirts in Solwezi, Jefferson, is the one that designed the logo for me. That is how I also made the first 10 pieces. By then I was in Solwezi. It took time for me to sell them because it was a rebranding process. But yeah, it pulled through. I came back to school in third year when I was doing my attachments in Monze. So me going to Monza for attachment didn't sit with me well because it was a new place for me and resources were not very much available for me to brand my t-shirts. So that is how I post the business again. What helped me come with I could say full force after the attachments is because when I was in second year, I managed to purchase myself a startup printing machine, a vinyl cutter, as well as a heat press, so that I can reduce the cost of printing and have a higher profit margin. Yeah, so that is how I got back from attachments. I brought my machines from Solwezi, and I used to do printing in school, just by the room. I used to print, and I learned a bit of some branding. I had to research. I researched more about marketing. I had to follow people that have got clothing brands, gain some inspiration. Yeah, and I also started using what I learned from them. Yeah, there is a saying that goes, to win, you're supposed to go to winners. Do what they do to win. That is how I also did what they used to do for them to achieve their wins. Yeah, I grew an audience and right now I'm running at 3,500 followers. Yeah, I'm proud of myself because it is 100% organic. Yeah, I have a TikTok page for my clothing brand. Yeah, and I've managed to sell about 500 plus t-shirts just within Lusaka. Yes, and I'm eager to learn more in the business. And my goal is to have my own space anywhere around town so that at least I can gain a huge number of customer support and have a bit of some clients to do t-shirts printing. Because mostly I do with the brand but not the service of printing t-shirts. Yeah, so after I was done with my education last year, and I decided not to go back to my hometown Solwezi but to stay in Lusaka, just to make sure that I have a high profit margin and as well to get more exposed us
And Lusaka is for business.
Exactly, that's this.
We have people here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as well to search for other opportunities in my personal endeavors. So that has been my journey from my primary school, secondary, society, branding, and college, and here I am today, the podcast with Mr. Ivan Mwape.
Yes, thank you for coming through. We appreciate it. But maybe before we talk much about the brand, maybe do you have some moments from your childhood which, when you remember, you're like, God, how did I overcome that? Like, why did you allow me to go through all that, when you was a child?
The most bad experience that I've experienced in my childhood was the fact that my dad left me in the moment I needed him the most. Yes. When I was waiting for the first year results in 2023. January, he was sick. He used to complain about the stomach. Yes, so upon him being sick, he was admitted. It wasn't even a week, I think, he left us. And you know how much expense it costs for someone to be in college, make sure they get their tuition fees paid. There was also sponsorship. So that is the most heartbreaking moment I could say I've passed through in my childhood. Because I didn't even have the opportunity to share with my dad that this is what I do for a living when I'm in Lusaka. I didn't know about my branding journey because he was a driver by profession. So most of the times he wouldn't be home. So we could find that you're doing something but he doesn't even know anything about it because you only get to meet maybe once on a weekend. So yes, that is one of the things that I had to go through during my childhood. Yes.
Well, that's really touching, and a moment which you treasure most growing up. Like, this is the moment I will never forget. Every time you remember it, I always smile.
The moment that I always smile about your life. Because I go, okay. The moment that I treasure the most in life. Okay, there are a lot of moments. Okay, I've always had the dream of coming to Lusaka, I think. So coming to Lusaka has been one of the greatest things that I treasure the most.
So you said they are from Solwezi, right? And what language do we use in Solwezi?
In Solwezi, we use the Kikao.
Exactly. So Kikao, how do you say tested, approved, and trusted in Kikao?
So tested, you say it as Rueseko. Rueseko tata nishiba kupisha mumeseko ya vura.
Rueseko tata.
Yes, Rueseko, that is the more like testing. Rueseko, then approved nishi. They are saying that kiaswishiwa. Yes, that is you are approved. Yes, kiaswishiwa. Yes, then trusted. Luketekero tata popo nishimwa ketekela.
No, go slow. You're saying what? Trusted.
Luketekero.
Lukeketelo. Yes,
luketekero. That is our trusted. Luketekero.
And then all of it together, how do you say it?
But it's together.
Like the way we are saying tested, approved, and trusted. Now in Kikao and all of it.
By sekaki akoinshewa ba ketekera.
Don't expect me to try that. No, I can't do it. No, but I'm sure I'll then be understood. So how do you greet in Kikao?
In Kikao, the greeting is Mujibi Epimwani. That is how I do.
Oh, like Mujibi Epimwani.
No. Wherever Nangwa, isn't it Demba?
There's a song anyway. And then how do I respond?
You respond, we don't go to one, that is fine thing.
So if I say Mundibi,
Mujibi not Munjibi. Mujibi.
Mujibi.
Yes.
Okay, so Mujibi.
We don't go to one, Kanabo.
Yes.
You say we don't go to one. Kanabo, it's how about you?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, coming back to tested, approved, and trusted, and we're talking of branding. Huh? So, from your experience and from losing the first brand you was using, from all the things you've experienced and learned so far, what can you say is the key to someone branding themselves?
The key to branding themselves is
branding yourself as a person, branding yourself as a business.
As a business, or whatever you do is just be consistent.
Yeah.
Because a brand becomes a brand when it's consistent.
Yeah.
And make sure that you are real in whatever you are doing, so that you gain full trust from people.
Yeah.
That is how a brand will come to life. Because a brand is more like the root of a tree.
Yeah.
Without the proper branding, then you are not going to have the good leaves of the tree.
Yeah.
Yes, so that is what I can say about branding. Make sure you are real, just be consistent in what you're branding, and it's going to come to life.
What does it take to brand oneself?
It takes self-motivation and confidence to brand oneself.
Yeah.
Because branding is also about the feeling that you impose to the people that are around you.
Yes.
As my brand says, tested, approved, and trusted. You have to make sure that you are tested in life, because life is about trials.
Yeah.
When you are tested, that is when you are going to get your self-approval.
Yeah.
When you get your self-approval, that is the confidence and the self-motivation you are going to get.
Yeah.
And that is how people are going to trust you in your personal brand, your business brand, or any other brand that is.
So you're saying, as a brand, I think before I brand myself, I should feel what I'm branding myself.
Exactly.
Should speak to me first.
Yes. You're supposed to love the brand, because you are the first ambassador for your brand.
Yeah.
And how you show up every day is what matters the most.
Yeah.
That is what I can say.
That's about branding. Yeah, then I'm sorry, I can brand myself. Thank you for this t-shirt. Though I wanted pink. Okay, you're talking about branding and telling me that you don't have color pink. Huh? I wanted pink. Because at least maybe if I wear pink, it can be seen. You get that? Yeah.
What do you mean you can be seen?
I don't know. I just want to be seen. Yeah, but I wanted pink.
No, next time we'll do the honors of bringing you a pink one.
A pink one, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, and you should have my name below here. At least Magwata.
Sure.
So it will cost me extra to put a name.
Yes, it is an extra charge.
Why?
Because
No friendship.
No friendship in business.
No friendship in business. Not even a discount.
Not even a
It's
discount.
not part of branding. No, but it's very difficult. There's no discount in branding. But anyway, thank you for this t-shirt. I love it. At least now, when I wear, I'll remember to say, okay, that episode gave me this t-shirt.
Sure.
Yeah, but in terms of payment, I think my cameraman will pay. If not, I'm not part of it. He said he'll pay for it.
No, he's hearing you loud and clear, so I think he will do as wise.
Yeah, he'll pay for it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for it. Thank you for the t-shirt. Yeah, you see. So you pay.
Sure.
He's a good man. He's a good man. Yeah. So, what are some of the things that can make a brand fail to grow, or an already established brand to just lose everything, right? To become big, and then suddenly, all of a sudden, you have no people, no clients. What kills brands?
I think, speaking from my own perspective and experience, the brand can die because of lack of prioritizing marketing aspects.
Yeah.
Everything cannot be a priority all the time. You have to focus first on a certain goal that you want your brand to reach.
Yeah.
For example, I was with my business associate last week. We were setting up, an advertising platform where you get to advertise our brand in people wearing the t-shirt, different kinds of people wearing the t-shirt. So this month we'll only be focusing on advertisement. the next month maybe we're going to focus on another aspect, maybe discounts. Maybe another month we focus on promotions, maybe another month we're focusing on marketing, just like that. So when you have a lot of things that you are doing with your brand, it won't move well, because they say when you're focused on one thing, you're going to be a pro in that one thing. But when you're focused in a lot of things, there will be a small percentage going at each aspect. So when you're focusing on marketing, you're going to make sure that you get the marketing at 100%. When you focus on advertisement, you make sure that you get the advertisement 100%. So I think setting clear priorities for your brand is important. Make sure you set a priority for a certain period, you set another priority and another period, just like that. You make sure that you kick that same priority onto the head, then you go to the next one. That is what I've managed, because there is a point in time when I used to do a lot of things at once. I could do promotions, I could do maybe contests at one thing, I could do maybe a lot of things at once. So I think it is important first you set a target on one aspect, then you move to the next. That way you can grow your brand, so that you can be ticking each aspect that you run a brand at.
So setting goals and priorities is the key to grow a brand. Well, this has been a very educative conversation or episode, but before we close, what are your last words? How can people find you, and how much are these t-shirts? What's the discount? And all of it.
Okay, people can reach me. I'm located in Thorn Park, just behind Zesco headquarters in Lusaka. I also have distributors that work online, 100% online in Solwezi. There are about 3. I can share their lines in the bio. I also have a distributor in Ndola. She's at the school, Notech. I also have another distributor who is in Quito, I think. Yes, they also work here online. And I also do deliveries before I look for a space in town, because that is the goal that I'm aiming at this year. You can reach me on 07766766106, and I do it 100% free delivery. So reach me on 07766766106, and then you are through to tested, approved, and trusted. The prices are 150 kwacha. The short sleeved t-shirts, unfortunately I didn't come with a long sleeved, but the long sleeved goes at 170 kwacha. All the colors are available for short sleeved, but for long sleeved currently we only brand white and black. Yes.
Alright, so that's how you can find them. And on today's episode we was talking about branding, what it takes to brand oneself. No, we can't exhaust everything in one podcast, but we get the experience of different people. So this is the experience of John branding himself and just growing his business as you've heard, and having so many distributors from different places. It takes time, it takes faith, consistency, and hard work. Hopefully you've learned something about branding, and I pray you work and brand yourself in everything you do this year. Like we said, this year we are doing it, we are serious. This year it's confidence and audacity. No, I want that. That's the brand. So I want a t-shirt over there. Confidence and audacity.
Okay, I'll work on it.
This year in confidence and audacity. Even when you don't want us, you will come. I'm coming with our audacity. So this year, it's confidence and audacity. So we was talking about branding. Hopefully you've learned something. I have been your host, Ivan Mapevagwada. See you next time.